Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this series, I'll be sharing with you how to interact with Telegram bot API, which will be used to add functionality to your bot. In this video, I'll show you how to create a Telegram chatbot with Python. To create a Telegram bot, you need to first of all go to your Telegram and search for BotFather. It is usually the first one to appear, and also look to check for the verified icon. So I'll search BotFather. See the verified icon I'm talking about, click on it. For this tutorial, I'm using the web version of Telegram, but you can also use the one for your mobile device. So click on start. When you click on start, click on the first command, because it's going to bring up many commands. So click on the first one, new bot. So after that, it's going to tell you to choose a name for your bot. So let me write Natilot. So it's going to tell you to choose the username for your bot. So let me call it so when you get the done congratulations message, it's going to give you your API access key, which is going to be a unique access key which you are going to use to access other methods in the Telegram API. This is the Telegram API documentation. I'll leave the link to this in the description below. So this documentation gives you access to many methods which you'll be using to access and modify your bot. So to make a request to the API, you're going to go to the address https://api.telegram.org/bot. Then you enter your access token / the method names. It has many methods which you can use, but we're making use of this one first of all, this get updates. So let me create a new tab for this and copy our access token and make a request to https api.telegram.org/bot. Put the access token / the method name, which is get updates. We have an object with OK through, and result is an empty array, but I think Firefox will give us a better view. So let's copy this and paste it here. So Firefox gives us the option to switch between the raw data and the JSON. So that's why I prefer to use Firefox for this. So what this get update does is to return all the message being sent to the bot. So let's try it out. Let's click on this link, then click start. Then I'll type my message. Let's say for example I type hello and send it. By come here and hit refresh, it gives me the result in JSON, and it returns results which contains two items. The first one is the one for the start command, and the second one is the hello I sent. So in each result, in each item, there is update ID, message ID, where the message came from, if the message came from a bot. As you can see, it's false because it didn't come from a bot. Then first name, chat ID, and the rest of them. So I'll go ahead and show you the second method we'll be using, which is send message, which will enable the bot to send message. So if you go to the documentation and check for send message, click on send message. The send message method takes in some parameter, chat ID, text, and the rest of it. So we'll make use of the chat ID and the text. So let me create a new tab, copy this, paste it here, then change this from instead of get update to send message, and pass in a query string the chat ID equals to, copy this ID, and the second one is the text. Anything we write here is what the bot is going to send. So let me write welcome, I'm a bot, please be nice. And hit enter. We get the results back. This message ID is 3, the ID is this ID is bot is true. Before, if you notice, it was false. Then let's go to the chat. As you can see, I sent the first one, start command and hello, and the bot replied with welcome, I'm a bot, please be nice. So as you can see, we can use the Telegram API to make the bot be functional. So the purpose of creating a bot is to automate your tasks for you. When a user sends a message, the bot replies based on what the user sent. So we're using Python to do the automation. If you're enjoying this video, hit the like button below to make me to reach more audience, and also hit on the subscribe button. It will encourage me to upload more content. So let's go back to our tutorial. For this project, I'll be using Visual Studio Code. I will upload the code to this in my GitHub. I'll leave the link in the description box below. So let's create a Python file. We'll call it chatbot.py. So in this, I'll first of all create a variable called URL. It's going to hold the URL. Let's copy this one and paste it here. So I'll create some functions which I will use in this project. The first function I'm going to create is a function that will get the chat ID. So let's create the function get chat ID. It's going to take a parameter. Let's call it results. If I go to the browser, you see let me expand this one. In each item there is update ID. Inside the message we have the message ID, we have from, chat, date and text. So what we want to get is the chat ID. So it's inside the message, we get the chat and get the ID. So let's create a variable to store that. Call it chat ID. Message. inside the message we want to get the chart. And inside the chart we want to get the ID. So we return the chart ID. We create another function which is going to use to get the text of the message. So let's copy this one, paste it here, change this to get message text. Then change this to message text. To get the message text from this message, see the text you want to get, the value, see the text here. So inside the message we get the text. So we change this one to text, get rid of this one, then we return the message text. Next function we are going to create is the function that will get the last update. So let's define the function get last update. It's going to take a parameter, let's call it request. So for this we need to make use of Python module called request. So let's import the module, import requests. If you don't have this dependency installed in your machine, you can open your console and write pip install requests. As you can see, the requirements are satisfied because I have this in my machine, but for you it's going to install. So after that we import the module and continue. Let's create a variable called response, and this variable is going to hold whatever we get from the request.get. It's going to be a get request, the request being passed to it. We append the method name, which is get updates. After this we convert the response to JSON. So say response equals to response.json. Then we need to get the results, because we say result equals to response result. Another variable I want to create is called last update index. And for us to get the index of the last update is going to be length of the results minus 1. As we all know from this, for example, there are it contains two values, and the last index, for us to get the last index, we say 2 minus 1, which is going to give us 1. If there are three values there, it's going to be 3 minus 1, which will give us 2, which is going to be the last index. The index of an array starts from 0. As we have gotten the last index, we need to return the last update. We say return to give us the last item or the last update. So for this, for example, for example, the last update is going to be this one. So this is what is going to be returned to us. This. After this, we'll create another function, call it send message. So let's create the function. To take in two parameters, which is going to be the chat ID and the text. So let's create an object params which will hold the chat ID and the text. So let's give it a key of chat ID and the value chat ID. The second one, give it a key of text and the value text. Let's create a variable called response. Let's create a variable called response. Response is going to hold whatever we get from the request this time it's going to be a post request, and finally we'll return the response. Finally, we'll create the last function called bot reply. So let's create the function. We need to get hold of the update ID. So let's create a variable called update ID. It's going to be equals to, we'll call the function we created above, which is called get last update, and in this we'll pass in URL. This last update here returns the last item in the result array. The last update here is this last one with the index 1, and what you want is to get the update ID. So, and what is returned to us, okay, so this get last update returns this, and we need to get this update ID. So to access that, we say update ID. After this, we need to loop by through. We'll create a variable, let's call it update. We'll use it to store the last update. So let's say get last update. We'll pass in the URL and we'll write an if statement. If update ID is equals to update ID. Let's write another if statement. If get message text, I'm passing the update. Dot lower is equals to high. This update is the last update which was made, and the get message text will get the text from it, and we are using this Python method to lower so that our comparison will be in lowercase. So whatever the user enters, we'll take it to lowercase and do our comparison. So after this, if a user sends hi, we want the bot to send a message, so we use this function we created here, send message, and it's going to take in the chat ID parameter and the text. We'll call the function send message. To get the chat ID, we'll call the function which is defined above, get chat ID. We'll pass in the update, and the text is going to be a string. So let's enter a message which will be printed whenever a user sends hi. So we'll say hello, then append the first name from this update here, which is this last one. If you open the chat, you can access the first name. So we say update message. Inside the message, get the chat, then inside the chat you get the first name. So we say update ID, for testing purpose, let's print this to the console, update ID. All this being set up, let's go ahead and call this function. Let's run our code and test. We click the run button. Get a message from the bot, say hello deleted. Let's try it again. Hi. It responds with the message hello deleted. So from this, the bot is actually working. So let's add another statement. Let's do elif. Let's copy this one. And paste it here. And change the condition. Let's say the user says hello instead of hi. We'll pass in the chat ID. This time, instead of saying hello, we'll reply with how can I help you? Then let's go ahead and run this again. It's printing this hello deleted because I ran it again and the last message I sent was hi. So let's say hello. This time it responds with how can I help you? Let's try hi again. It responds with hello deleted. As you can see, each time I send a message, the update ID is being incremented by 1. The update ID here is greater than the one actually in the update, because when it gets to an update ID that is greater than what it has, it terminates the loop. So you can go ahead and add as many if else statements as you want to make your bot more functional. Let me write an else statement. Else. Let me copy this. And change the message to I don't understand you. So whenever a user writes something that is not hello or hi, it prints this message, I don't understand you. So let's run it again. Let's write hi. Hello Daily Tech. So let's write hello. How can I help you? Let me write I need help. This time it prints I don't understand you. So you can add as many if else if else statement as much as you want to make your bot more functional. So we have come to the end of this tutorial, and I hope you liked it and enjoyed it. The next one I'll be creating is how to make a bot functional in a group chat. We have come to the end of this tutorial on how to create a Telegram bot. Next, I will show you how to add a Telegram you created to a group chat, and the Telegram bot will perform many functions and keep order in the group. Hit the like button below to make me to reach more audience, and also hit on the subscribe button. It will encourage me to upload more content.